Welcome to the Lou Riley Live Show, a podcast about health, wellness, motivation, and success. Now, here's your host, Mr. Lou Riley.
Hey. This is Lou Riley coming at you live from Nashville, Tennessee with another episode of the Lou Riley Live Show. What a great day to be here. What a great day to be alive. What a great day to have an opportunity to complete the work for which we were designed to do. You know, what comes to mind is a story that one of my coaches, actually my head football coach at South Carolina State at that time, Coach Willie Jeffries, let's see if you can follow this. He told a story that had to do with it was a motivational thing. He said that there was a man who fell from the 10th story of a building. And they said that as he was falling, people who were on the 5th floor overheard him say, "I got 4 more to go. I still got a chance." And hopefully you kind of get where he was going with that. You know, it ain't over till it's over. You know, you still got an opportunity. So it doesn't matter whether or not you got to start over again with losing weight. Doesn't matter whether or not you lost the job, or you got passed over for that promotion, or you didn't get that job you wanted, or the thing that you were hoping to happen so desperately didn't work out. It's okay. It's okay, because today's another chance to carve your niche in the history of this world. I want to continue to pick up on what I began with my talk about how I would advise someone who's losing weight for the first time or for the 50th time. And I just want to continue to add to that. And today, I want to talk about probably what's even more important than exercise, and it's your diet. Now, I'm not saying a diet, I'm saying your diet, meaning the food that you take in, everything that you take in. You know, as I coached, we had this mantra that went, you know, everything you do, it has to have a purpose. You do it with a purpose. And I'll be the first to say that I'm definitely still growing into this. But the food that you take in, everything has a purpose. There's a phrase that I use that I pulled. I want to say it was Ben Franklin who said, and forgive me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not in a place to look it up real quick on Google. But it simply says, let food be thy medicine. Let food be thy medicine. And that just says to me that a lot of the ailments, and you have to be one, or if you are one who has accepted the fact that the diets that we have taken on in this culture are poor. We've gotten away from, and as a person who comes from South Carolina, who has ties to quote unquote the country, when there were a family getaway would be to go out to the country to visit your family, and you could see them. You could, I'm not saying play with the hogs, but you could stand on the outside of the fence and you could watch the hogs and, you know, the cornfields and the chicken, livestock. This was a way of life. Whereas people grew their own fruits and vegetables, and they grew their own livestock, and they made their own food, and they fed them the things that came from the earth. And at some point in time, and quite a brief history I'm giving, or a brief overview, but at some point in time, as we grew into our more technical ages and our mechanical ages of machines and technical ages and things of that nature, we moved into finding quicker and easier ways to produce things. And our food is a direct result of that type mindset. We are a do it, have it now society. And the foods that we consume represent just that. Fast food is just that. It's fast food. And many of you may have seen various documentaries or things of that nature. One that definitely comes to mind is there's a picture of a meal, a hamburger and fries from a fast food place. And the hamburger has the bun off of it. You can see the mustard ketchup, pickles, the reconstituted onions on there, the meat and the cheese on the other half, and the fries inside the little fry bag pouch. And the question was, how old do you think this picture is? And really, it just looked like a burger and fries that had been sitting out for a little while, that, you simply pop in the microwave and it would probably be a little more edible. And the answer was that it was 9 months old. And so I say that to get across the point that there are a lot of things other than beef inside your hamburgers. There are a lot of things other than chicken inside your chicken. There are a lot of things other than, the things that were originally inside that produce or that meat food or what have you, that there are a lot of people, and there are many, many studies that attribute those things to, in part, to the cause of the poor health, the declination of health of many Americans across the country. Here in Tennessee, I know for a fact that this is one of the most obese states in the union. There are many others. And diet, education, exposure has a lot to do with it. The way we were raised has a lot to do with it. Those things that, that we pick up from other people has a lot to do with it. So I want to scale this conversation and discuss, again, how I would advise you, or how I would advise you on getting started, or getting started again with when your diet is concerned. And it's simply my opinion that I would place diet over exercise every day of the week, because far too many times I have seen this and I have done this, whereas I have gotten in a great workout, sweating from head to waist, and I turn around and I get something to eat, or I get several things to eat, and those things almost negate the exercise that I did. If you want to lose weight, accept the fact that this is a lifestyle change. Before you even get used to having to exercise and move your body, you have to adjust what you eat. And it's not about going cold turkey and doing those things in a day. And there are many paths to doing this, many commercial paths, and many paths for people who want to subscribe to the raw, the vegan or vegan, of those ways that people feel as though I'm going to live off of what God placed on this earth for me to consume in the form of plants and vegetables. Some people may add food to that. Some pescatarians, fish eaters, things of that nature. Or people say, okay, I'm going to eat meat, but I'm going to make sure it's organic. I don't want all those chemicals and things inside my meats and my fruits and my vegetables. And there are people who strive to live that way. What I want to share comes from my own personal experience with attempting to make modifications to my diet. And I've done some very extreme things, and I've done some very subtle things. So let me talk about one of the extreme things that I had a chance to experience and what I learned from it. A year ago, I went on a 90-day juice fast. Literally, all I consumed was various juices that I created from fruits and vegetables. And it sounds crazy, but let me give a little background on how I got there. There was a documentary that I watched about a gentleman who had gone on a juice fast, sort of a journey to travel around to spread the good word on consuming your fruits and vegetables. The name of that documentary is called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. I definitely recommend you check that out if you have never heard of it, had never seen it. Quite possibly, not quite possibly, but definitely watching that became a major turning point for me and my mindset. Of the many things I learned, I'll share a few here. I always questioned or always realized that it would be difficult to eat right if I didn't have cravings. Why do I have these cravings? Well, what I learned was that the reason that we have cravings is because we are malnourished. Now, people would not believe that, or a lot of us wouldn't consider that when you see someone who's overweight, you don't think malnourished, but that's exactly what it is. An overweight person, quite possibly, and barring some medical reasoning behind the weight that they're carrying, is malnourished. And malnourished simply meaning that because you lack the proper nutrients that come from consuming the proper amounts of fruits and vegetables, the proper amounts of vitamins and minerals are not getting inside your system, your body has a deficit, and those cravings are evidence of the lack that your body has. So when I did the juice fast, people would think that I was going to be starving or just going out of my mind and having those tremendous headaches. And not that someone who decides to go on a juice fast won't experience those things, because that's a part of the detox portion. But because I was giving my body the nutrients that it was lacking, my body didn't know, or there was no deficit in a thing in my body. And when I talking about some complicated measure, although I experimented a lot with different combinations, but I would juice in no particular order: apples, beets, kale, celery, cucumber, lemons, lime, grapes, plums, carrots, just a host of healthy fruits and vegetables. I jump on Google, I do my research on the health benefits behind the various fruits and vegetables. I focused in on those things that had to do with weight loss to make sure I was consuming those things. And I drank, and let me get this point across. A juice fast has nothing to do with starvation. A juice fast is intended for you to take in a minimum of 96 ounces of juice per day. A minimum of 96 ounces of juice per day. I drank well over a gallon a day. And yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it can become costly. But do you understand that there are a lot of health and wellness products out there that guarantee rapid weight loss? And I've seen a lot of them over the years that cross over my Facebook wall. A lot of the shake diets and things of that nature. And for you to really, if you're really serious about losing weight, or if you're really serious about building a business, I've been a part of that world before. If you're really serious about it, you come in at this higher level right here. And that's going to run you about $430 some odd a month. And in that, you're going to get you a month's worth of product A, supplement B, product C, supplement D, and it's going to have you covered. And what we want to do is get you on a monthly auto ship on those things. And there are people who've taken those things and they've lost weight. They've lost the weight they've wanted, and some have kept it off. But I also know of people who've done those things and they lost weight, but when they went back to eating the foods that they normally eat, they lost 20 pounds but gained back 30. The fine print in some of those products, and I haven't named the name of a product, but the fine print in some of those that people don't realize is that those companies want you to become dependent on those products for the rest of your life. And so unless you're prepared to spend the rest of your life using those shake supplements to cover up some of your meals, then at some point in time, you're going to go back on the foods that you normally ate. And now your body is confused and doesn't know how to respond, so it's going to hold on to more. You see, I started with the juicing. It lasted 90 days. I lost about 50 pounds doing it. And I didn't have the headaches. There were definitely moments when you have a little bit of temptation there, but that's when you drink more juice. And I learned a whole lot about juicing, and I'll definitely share some of that as I move forward in this podcast. But the point of it was to get me to get in the nutrients that my body was lacking. So now, because I'm juicing and I'm taking in way more than the daily recommended amount of fruits and vegetables, I got that covered. Something that I learned, because the first thing a lot of people may be thinking about who've never juice fasted or who have questioned juice fast are, well, what about your protein? You got to have proteins. Aren't proteins the building blocks of your muscle? You got to have your protein. I did not know that there are proteins inside plants and vegetables. I didn't know that until I started this juice fast, until I watched the movie, until I just started to absorb all this information. And one of the amazing things about social media, and specifically Facebook and Twitter and this instance, is that you begin to meet other people who are going through this juice fast journey with you, and they have bits and pieces of information that you didn't know about. So you get to add that to your knowledge base, and you get to share what you know and add to someone else's. And pretty soon, and let me back off that. Not pretty soon, but in time, you become a lot more knowledgeable about the process, about how to prepare good tasting juice mixes, about how to prepare good tasting juice mix. I'm laughing. I just had several rushed through my head. I was trying to give you one of them off the top of my head. One being, I would take green grapes, celery, and jicama. I would juice those, and maybe some lime, maybe some lemon. I would juice that. Awesome tasting juice. And I began even when I got off the juice fast, I still juiced. And instead of having that 35 calorie apple juice from the store, if I wanted apple juice, I would buy a bag of apples. If I wanted grape juice, I'd buy grapes. Simply that. So now I get to cut out all the additives and preservatives. Of course, I wash my fruit and things of that nature. I invested a few dollars inside a couple of different juicers. One, a high-speed juicer, which is literally high speed. Another one is a slow-moving, it's called a self-masticating juicer. And the difference between the two, one is simply like a grinder. It's a high-speed grinder that kicks out the juice and spits out the pulp. The other one literally crushes the fruits and the vegetables and squeezes out the juice and releases the pulp on the opposite end. So that's called the self-masticating juicer. We'll talk about those things, and we'll talk about which one is better, best, prices. That'll be other episodes that I have, but I'm just going to give you an overview about the juice fast. So again, now that I'm getting my vitamins, my nutrients, I'm getting my proteins inside my system, my body's not lacking for anything. Here's what I experienced. Let me explain this. I was severely obese. I was at a place where I suffered from sleep apnea. I would literally be waking myself up at night because I wasn't breathing. I was dealing with a tremendous amount of back pain. I was afraid to go into a deep sleep, so I never got the rest that I needed. So I was tired a lot, lethargic, purely not motivated to do a thing. Back was hurting, hated being out, just feeling horrible. And I got on this juice fast, and one of the first symptoms that alleviated itself was I no longer suffered from sleep apnea. I could sleep through the night. I could breathe while I slept. I have not experienced that it's been over a year. It's been well over a year since I found myself not breathing in my sleep. My back pain left. I was able to go out and walk and not experience the same pain that I had dealt with. And also, as a coincidence, my energy levels jumped up. They jumped up. It's literally like you're on a high. Everything was clean. Cell phone just went off. Everything was clean. Your skin clears up. Your hair starts to grow a little thicker. Nails grow a lot faster. Your mood is so much better because you just feel awesome. And that's something that's possible for everyone, should you choose to go that route. And I just wanted to share some of the benefits of that experience that I had with the juice fast, so that you may consider that as your entry point to how serious you are about losing the weight. Because it's an exercise in discipline. It's an exercise in self-discipline to be able to go on that juice fast, to not knowing that you're going to lose the cravings that you had for those foods that you know you want to and need to stay away from. That's going to leave if you stay with that thing long enough. And there are other things that you can do. But again, I'm talking about my own experience with what worked for me. Not to say, and I'm not guaranteeing it will work for you, but what I am saying is that if you should try to do so, I think it's a great thing to attempt. And it doesn't have to be for 90 days. But I do believe that periodically we owe it to our bodies to allow it to rest. And that's a lot of what fasting is about. It's allowing your organs to rest. You know, as they say that our body, you are what you eat. So that every and I do at this point in time I do not know the numbers, but every nth day or every nth month or what have you, your body regenerates new cells, and those cells are being made up of the foods and the nutrients that you place in your body or the ones that you don't. So if you want to begin to turn into a new you, simply begin eating good foods, eating clean foods. And if it's not good foods and clean foods, then let it be better foods and cleaner foods. Let it be not so much fried foods. Let it be, okay, I eat a lot of fried food, love chicken, love shrimp, love fish, love those things, love fries. Goodness, love fries, fried everything. Fried is good. You know, I do not recommend cold turkey for everybody, but if you are so determined, you can go cold turkey, and it is possible for you to become successful because it's been done before. But my best recommendation is to take this a step at a time. As I've said in previous episodes, you didn't gain that weight in a day, and I guarantee you will not lose it in a day. So this is about setting yourself up to be successful. You have to set yourself up for success, because if not, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure. Guys, this is Lou Riley signing off with another podcast episode, continuing the subject of how I would advise you to begin losing weight, whether it's the first time or the 50th time. Again, the point of this episode was to discuss the first thing I would do is adjust my diet. I would do less of the bad things and more of the good things. I would incorporate things that I know can cover up some of the things that I crave. If I'm heavily into sweets, well, you might want to get you some nuts, get you some walnuts, some almonds, some pecans, some cashews, some dried cranberries, some raisins. Make yourself a trail mix, some pumpkin seeds, some sunflower seeds. Make yourself a trail mix, something that you can have in hand, because sometimes we can become addicted to the taste. Other times we become addicted to the texture of foods. So having that trail mix covers that need for something that crunches, can cover the need for something that's chewy, can cover the need for something that's sweet. You know, it can do those things for us. So I'm beginning to ramble, at least I think. Hey guys, thank you so much. And again, if you've listened this far, I want to send you an extra special thank you. I really appreciate you allowing me a second of your time to share what's on my mind. And if you would be so kind, please subscribe to my podcast. Go to iTunes, type in Lou Riley Live or the Lou Riley Live Show and hit subscribe. If you're also inclined, click on the like button and give me a review. I love 5 stars, but give me an honest review. Give me 5 stars, but give me honest feedback. You know, give me some feedback, because I've never done this before until the first episode. And so, not take that back. I have done some of this before, but I'm just stepping out at this point in time, putting this together. Got a little setup here in my home studio, and just putting energy out there and looking for great things to come as a result of this. Again, for me, this is an exercise in discipline. This is an exercise in conviction. This is an exercise in what my coaches would call stay-tunedness. How long will you continue to do this thing and stay true to it. For the third time, guys, I'm out. You all take care. See you all in the next episode.